Aerials. Okay. Any questions about composition?
That was awesome.
Yeah? Cool. Thanks. Okay. Aerials. So this is what I've done. RemotePilot101.com is where I got my license, where I studied the licensing exam through Remote Pilot 101. And it took me about 2 weeks to do. So every night I went through it for at least an hour or two, just watching the tutorials from start to finish. And then I went through it again and made flashcards. I took the practice tests, and 2 weeks later, I went to the Provo airport here. This, I think, when I bought it, it was $150 for the course lifetime. And I think it's still the case today. $150 for a lifetime access to it. And then the test at the Provo airport is another $150. So $300 in total to get your license. If you don't want to do the test and just do it yourself, it's $150 for the test.
Requirement too if you're doing commercial, because I understand there's like commercially, like us as a business owner, like is there something more? Because my understanding is it's more than just getting the license. There's something else you're supposed to do.
So there's a second part to it, and is basically just to register your license. That's it. But they give you all that paperwork there. So in order to do it, in order to fly a drone commercially to get money, you have to have a license. Even if you have your drone and you take it up as a hobby, but you post it on YouTube and you monetize that video, that is now commercial use. Okay. And there's a hefty fine for it. For pilots who are caught is $1,100, at least the last time I checked. For real estate agents, last time I checked, was $11,000 per occurrence.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. And so you do want your license if you're doing real estate, for sure. And this will show you some cool resources too to see if you're in airspace. So Provo, all of Provo is actually in Class D airspace, meaning that from the ground up, even if you're 5 inches off the ground, 2 feet off the ground, you're in airspace. And so there's an app that lets you know, okay, if you're licensed and you're in Class D airspace, how close can you be to the airport? And they're making this super automated. Before I have to call into the manager and say, hey, I'm going to be flying 2 miles from the airport and whatnot. But now there's an app that shows you, okay, if you're within this range in the grid, you're allowed to go 100 feet up in the air, no more than that. Okay. Or if you're in this space and you're so close to the airport, you're not allowed to fly in this area.
Yeah, we've had a few on West Provo.
It's AirMap.
AirMap?
AirMap. It's a free app. I can't remember if I know droners.io, I had to register my license. But AirMap, I can't remember. I think it does have you upload your license, but I don't think it like validates or anything like that. But it's a cool, I love it. And then I use Verifly for insurance. And Verifly, I don't use it every time. I only use it like when I'm over either congested parts of town, over super busy streets. And Verifly will allow you to insure your drone activity for, I think an hour is the minimum. And just for a few bucks, which is really cool. And it insures you instantly. So as soon as you purchase it, boom, you're insured, and then you can fly around for an hour.
Cool. Verifly.
Verifly.
So it's insurance?
Yep.
Like if the drone fell on someone?
Yeah.
Kind of thing?
Yep. And then I also have my own personal, or not personal, but business liability insurance for events like that too. So I'm try to keep myself protected on that. But yeah, so get your license and let others fly is what I explained earlier. You can get your license as long as you're the pilot in command present at that event. You can let some people fly. Now for my drones, from what I found in the past, and it could be different today because I stopped researching competition a long time ago. But in the past, it was you took your ground photos and then you took your aerials. Some agents will hire 2 different people for ground photos and for aerials just because of the licensing issue. But there has been a disconnect between the two. One is ground photos, you're looking at the ground, and if it's exteriors, you're looking straight up at the house. And if you're a drone, you're taking super far back photos. You have the house in the community, which there's a reason for that, and it does look good, but there are also some creative liberty that you can take to make the house look even better with drone. So I like to do level shots, community shots, and amenities. And amenities, they're so quick. I love doing amenities because it's an easy ad for the client, especially if they have the largest package of the real estate marketing package. I'm like, okay, within walking distance, because I know I can fly there, within walking distance, what are some of the amenities? Are there running trails? Are there biking trails? Are there parks? Are there swimming pools? Are there clubhouses? What is there? And I can just fly the drone over there and just get it, okay? So this is one shot, and rather than getting the whole entire property, I isolate just the backyard. How fun is that backyard? And that's what I try to highlight there. Cul-de-sacs. Cul-de-sacs are great because you can tell a person that it's on a cul-de-sac, but if they miss it in the description or if they're not comprehending what they're reading, they're going to miss it whenever they're going through the photos. So you want to be able to show that this home is on a cul-de-sac. I don't know. For me, a cul-de-sac is attractive. Some agents like to highlight that. Some agents don't. And this one was a condo community, and their condo was on the top level. And I'm like, how can I showcase this view that's just farmland? And so I took the drone, flew it over the building, and took some of the building here to showcase here's what the view looks like. And that's what the agent wanted. They're like, how can we show that that there's a lot of land behind there that's not going to be built on for a while? Okay. So this one was for sale by owner, and I try to help agents by setting up the for sale by owner that the packages I offer really work well with agents because the agents have a solid marketing plan in place. They'll do things that nobody else would do, like knock doors or do flyers or do social media ads and social media posts and things like that. And but she was adamant. She's like, no, I don't want to use an agent. I just want to use you. We're going to stage the home and get some shots. But she showed me some of the shots that she had before in the past. And this home is on a very, very steep hill. And there's also power lines up top. And by law, it's illegal for me to go and Photoshop power lines out. And so I told her that. She's like, you can't Photoshop them out? I'm like, no, I can't. Like, that's illegal. That's false advertising. I can't do that. And I told her, you know what? I'll figure it out. I'll try to do something with your home and trying to avoid the power lines. And drone helped me avoid the power lines. So the power lines are actually like very, very close to the edge here, but I didn't have to Photoshop anything. The only thing I had to Photoshop was just the crop. Okay. And this is the same home. So you see those power lines? It's nuts. And this hill is just massive. But it was right next to the, not Timpanogos. Is it Timpanogos Temple? Yeah. It was right there. And so I wanted to showcase. Now we can't point out to it, I guess, in real estate. From what I understand, you can't like say, "Hey, temple's right here," but you can imply through images that it's right there. Okay, so I'm taking photos of the home. Oh, the temple happens to be there, and that was a selling feature for the sellers on that one.
Mary Pulley Lane.
Say what?
Isn't that Mary Pulley Lane?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. And so this one, this same home, as you can see here, this is like almost a drop off here. There's no way that this camera can I can't raise that tripod. There are pole mounts for cameras, and that helps you get the aerial views if you don't have a drone. Okay, but I don't know anybody who has that. I'm sure there are photographers here who have it, but I just don't know anybody personally that have those or that would be willing to carry around. But this is a drone shot from that, so it's level, keeping my verticals vertical. Okay, makes sense?
So it's funny you say that because I have a monopod. So I have that extended all the way up.
Put it on.
That's standing on the back of my car. But like when I extend up like with the 3-second timer, like plug down. Nope, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
So I got the shot I wanted, but it worked.
Oh man. Or you can just get one of those footballs that you put the GoPro in there and just throw it over in the house. But yeah, so this gets that shot that I'm wanting. That's going to sell the home. It's an extra front shot of the home that so this is the traditional look right here from the ground. This is the best I could do without getting the power lines and with getting the house in view. And this is I tried finding the photos of this because I took a photo with my phone, like with the tripod. It looks ridiculous, like what I was doing, because it's like the tripod's broken down, and then I even had like one of the legs like broken. Where is it? Yeah, broken out like this to get even closer to the ground, and it was just ridiculous on how that looked. And then I had to be in the street, and so I had to make sure that cars weren't coming my way. But that's the traditional, okay? Opposed to something like this, or this, or this, right? Okay, make sense?
Are these all edited with one?
Yeah, so it's the Mavic and it is not bracketed. So the Mavic I shoot all in RAW. Whoops. The Mavic I shoot all in RAW. I don't do any bracketed shots. There are times where I've done bracketed shots, but I prefer that you can do so much more with RAW than you can with the JPEG bracketed shots on that. And so yeah, no, good question. Everything's RAW. Single exposure, okay? And then single exposure, oh, and this one is bracketed, I think 3-shot bracket.
That's what I was referring to.
Oh yeah, this one, yeah. So anything on this, I try to do bracketed except for my detailed
How
shots.
do you go with windy days?
I don't. You just do it, and you'll get these things moving around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Lightroom is smart enough to discern like what's moving and what's not, and try to like pick the best one.
It tries.
It tries, right. But interiors on windy days, oh my gosh, that's a hassle. So that's where I try to do my window pulls for those specific windows that are just, these are just blowing like crazy.
Right.
But a lot of times with the flash pull, like without a window pull, just a regular flash pull, that's enough just to have the leaves stop moving and just have a decent shot. But yeah, so windy days, it's a hit or miss. Does that answer it?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is another drone shot. This is a cabin that was shot. And this one was awesome too, because there's no way you can get this with this unless you had a pole. And then where I was too, it was just a drop off here and then to the river. And so this was awesome to shoot with a drone, showcase the amenities of everything here. Yeah, because the drone was like right here. There's no way. And that's where drone comes in to be able to get those level shots with it. So it would be in your best interest, even if you're not flying drone, just to get a license for the drone so you can hire somebody else that can do that. Okay.
So are you seeing these on a headset or a monitor? Like how are you seeing?
So I'm the visual observer on this one. So, and also the pilot and the pilot in command. So I'm there either underneath the drone or I'm far enough to see the drone, and that's why I carry my shades around because I'm looking up. So this is like my drone setup here.
So you're doing shots where you're like, I hope this is.
Well, on the phone. So yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
So this, and this is another reason why I love this drone too, because my Phantom 3 Professional was just a monster of a drone. It took great shots. This camera by far is better than that. But I also carried around my iPad for it and everything. And so let me see here if I can get this. So I do everything from the phone on here. So I'm watching the drone as a visual observer to make sure that it's not hitting anything. And then if it's in a crowded area or whatever, I'll try to be underneath the drone to mitigate any risks of it falling on anybody except for me. And this is what it looks like here.
Okay.
And so, yeah. So that's how that's set up. And then I'll do balconies. Again, I try to keep my verticals as vertical as possible on there because that's just professionalism when it comes to real estate. And again, with this is on a hill. Traditional camera, you cannot. So with your phone, if you're taking cameras with your phone, you're going to be looking up right at the house. And so drone really allows me to get that that professional look and what I like to call portrait photography of a home, right? And then also parking spaces. You can show very limited from your phone or from a DSLR camera parking space, but with a drone you can just get it there. Okay. Drone allows you to get those walking trails too. And this was within walking distance. So this home was right here. They had this walking trail, then they had like this massive park. And then I just flew the drone over, got some photos of the clubhouse and the swimming pool, and then I actually drove to another location for this. So this, yeah, the home was like over here. And so I just drove to this location and got kind of that whole park. That's in Vineyard, right?
Yeah.
And that's just a beautiful area. And then also solar panels. You can tell in your descriptions, hey, this comes with solar panels, but well, it's better just to show it.